hurts. But if you take care of the big toe, then the whole body feels well. So I thought that that was one of the most solid pieces of proof that plants are sentient beings and they have experience, they have emotional, it might not be the same psychology. We don't really know what their thoughts might be or what their emotions might be, but something's going on.
Definitely, plants are definitely alive, but I just think about plants, they're growing extremely large. It's not even a special experiment, but we know that some owners who growing certain pumpkins or something super sizes, they talk to these plants and they love them especially. And if I have plant in my room and take care of it and look at it and even talk to it, it's nicer growing and it's developing there, and I don't pay attention to it and just give a little water. It's not enough to be nice and beautiful. So it's amazing. I'm glad we get to this point, because coming from the metaphysical studies, because I imagine the entire studies or studying anything like it metaphysical for us, imagine where we are coming from, how it was created, while we are here on earth, and looking just for a sense, I just imagine that it's important to find that we are not just looking for this esoteric knowledge, but connected. Stop doing insane stuff. Stop doing war. Don't even think about it to hurt each other and hurt other plants, or think about the money and cut out all the trees and then produce all kind of products with those trees. So it's time to wake up, and this is important to get this message out. So definitely that's connect. So it's not just an esoteric study, but connects to life, and it's really a very important message, and recycling, and that we raise our own consciousness, and in little by little raise the planet consciousness that nobody is doing anything what could harm the planet or ourselves, and then destroy our living room. And back to your school, to the thoughts, when in the beginning we get there. So what do students do when they absolve the university? There goes in many directions, I assume, and then they becoming practitioners or teachers, or?
Well, a lot of our students who graduate, they get their, well, all students get a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. They can get their doctorate, DD, or PhD degree, depending on which they want. And a lot of them go on to create their own niche in the world, because metaphysics, it's not like you're going to go in the newspaper and see, a metaphysician needed $10 an hour or $20 an hour.
That's exactly why I'm asking. What is a metaphysicist do in the world?
Well, a lot of our students go on to be spiritual counselors. For instance, when I was looking for a counselor, when I was all, no, what do I do with my life, all that, I didn't find that people practicing traditional psychology were qualified to help me. If someone did not know anything about past lives or Akashic records or how to adjust the aura or how to understand trauma and how it can spiritually be related to other things, then I felt that person was not qualified to help me. And now that more and more people are looking for people who understand their spiritual path in order to get therapy or counseling. And so our students, a lot of our students come out and become spiritual counselors in their towns, and a lot of them start lecturing and teaching and running classes in spiritual subjects and formats. We have, for instance, the person whose radio show I was on today, she wrote her first book and she's doing a radio show, and We have another student who has started a retreat center. Students go on to make meditation tapes and sell them on the internet. And I mean, the world is wide open. Oh, we have another student who is at the Conscious Life Expo with us, or she had a booth near us, and she had created a animal communication card deck that is doing really well, and people are really excited about it. Her name's Angelica, and I think it's called Animal Communication Cards. Is that right? Something like that? And so our students are getting really creative about the careers that they can launch. A lot of them write books. There's so much demand for books and speaking engagements now, and doing workshops where people can come and get hands-on experience, and the spiritual counseling and the spiritual therapy that people do one-on-one, healing practices. A lot of people take a practice like yours, for instance, in chiropractic, and take what they've learned in the metaphysical school and apply that to what they're already doing in order to expand what they do in, say, the medical field, because there's a lot of doctors now who are starting to realize that it's more than just the physical body. It has to do with the mind and the spirit and releasing and the emotional body, which is far more than just doing surgery and prescribing prescription drugs.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because it was my show all about that, to bring it closer. It's not just advertising for chiropractic, which is natural, that you have to have the nervous system properly flowing in the body physically, but that's more to that than just like that. And I also imagine when somebody is doing the metaphysical studies, doesn't necessarily have to enter any profession in that direction. Writing the book most likely because they do their own spiritual experiences, want to share it, I assume, and personal growth. So this could be a great, instead of watching so much television, seamless way, study some in free time, and you can study as long you want. And
it's a self-paced program. You can study as fast or as short as you want. We don't push. It's all in perfect timing, because it is a very transformative experience to go through our program, because we help people transform the shadow self, working with the personality, with transformation of parts of the self that aren't so evolved. So sometimes there's some deep work and release of trauma that goes with that. So we always feel that it's very important to give people their own timing and let them move at their own pace. And some people whiz right through it and get their degrees, and you know, they've been on the path for 20 years. And what this does for them is fill in the gaps in their knowledge, because so many of us who've been on the path for a long time, we think we know a lot, but you'd be surprised how much our courses, it's amazing how much it fills in the gaps in our knowledge. When I was editing all the courses, I was like, wow, I just learned something new, and wow, I just learned something else new, and I'd been doing this for 20 years.
Learning seems like never ends. Anyway,
exactly.
So.
And then the nice thing for beginners is that it's all in one place. It's all linear laid out. You get everything all at once. You don't have to put it together like patchwork here and that workshop there and this book here, and it's all laid out. And then we give bibliographies at the end of all the courses, so that people can buy the books if they want to delve into it deeper and know what the hot books are on the market and where all these famous concepts are coming from that are basic knowledge in metaphysics. And metaphysics, in case anybody doesn't know, means beyond the physical. That's all. It's simple as that. So that leaves open a wide open space for what that can mean.
That's great, the explanation, because I meant to understand, but I never had the words attached to it myself. So it's amazing.
It's a Greek word. It was coined by Aristotle, and Aristotle was the first to coin the term metaphysics. And meta in Greek is beyond, and physics is physical. So that's where it comes from.
Usually the great things are simple.
Yeah, so if you're playing Trivial Pursuit and that question comes up, or you're on Jeopardy, then now you know the answer.
Exactly. Christine, I would like to ask you the question that's a little sensitive, but when I hear the word God, I always like to know what are we talking about and what do you think about what is really God?
That's a loaded question because so many people have a knee-jerk reaction to that word. But God to me is everything. It's a sea of God. Everything here is God because